There it is. Gosh, this thing. Kombonation, what's up, everybody? It's Grown B from Kombonation. I got OB Venom with us again for a Wandavision review, as well as Batman 123 Rock, and we're going to be talking about episode 6. Is this episode 6?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about
Three
episode
left.
episode 6. We got 3 more episodes left, and don't worry because we will likely be doing, well, I know we're going to be doing these for Falcon and the Winter Soldier as well. Didn't they say that Falcon in the Winter Soldier is like super rated R or something like that?
It's TV 14.
Oh, well, what was I
Yeah.
reading? I guess I didn't know what I was talking about. But anyway, so be looking forward to those. And I think Batman, you said the last 3 episodes are supposed to be hour long.
Yeah, that's what Kevin Feige said.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I've read
he's the
that.
president of Marvel Studios, so
All right, cool. I am excited for that, but let's go ahead and jump into this episode. I know that, what is that? Oh,
My bad. Keep
please
going.
just please just driving by your house. That's fine.
Yeah, I have to keep my window open because I can't. If I close the window, the smoke will set off the fire alarm
Oh, I feel you.
for my cigar.
No, that's
I'm
fine.
almost done with the cigar though, so I'll close that immediately when I'm done.
Okay, that's cool. It's no big deal. I just wanted to make sure that it was just like a, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
fire station's like right down the road from me. So
Well, I'll start off and just kind of talk about what I thought about the episode. I know Batman. You said this is the first episode in the last few weeks, based on your review that you did, your kind of preliminary review that you did. This is the first episode in a while that you didn't give a 10 to. So I'm excited to
yeah.
see what was the difference between that point and the and the one and how you gave the others, but for me, I feel like everything that I liked about all of the previous episodes that I gave tens to was present in this episode. Dealing with the outside world, dealing with Wanda and her powers, showing how much control and how much control she has and doesn't have, just kind of over the world. Vision kind of being skeptical about everything that was going on. The involvement of Pietro and how he is kind of challenging the nature of everything going on, and then that horror factor.
Hmm.
I think that that horror factor just speaks really strongly to. And I'm not even a horror guy. I've never really been into horror films, anything like that. But just like the way that they create that feeling of suspense, that eerie feeling, and I think one of the things, I think the actual editing really helps push that feeling of discomfort. When you're watching certain scenes, they hold on close ups longer. They sit in moments of silence longer. And I just think that they've been doing really well with that. And this is another episode where I just think that they did a great job in it. So I mean, really, just I know we kind of give our thoughts on it throughout it anyway, but I definitely think this was another 10 out of 10 for me. But Obi, you can kind of let us know what you kind of thought about it.
um, I will also give it. I'm also gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I kind of feel like the rest of these episodes are gonna be 10 out of 10s also, but I like the 10 out of 10 from for all the little subtle hints they drop about Pietro of him just not actually being Pietro.
Yeah.
Of it just being of everything with him being wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He'll say little details or he'll say something that's almost very forgettable, I want to say almost, or he says it real quick and maybe you don't think it's important, but then if you actually stop and listen to what he just said, you're like, wait, what? Like when he
Mm.
mentions him getting shot and he says something along the lines of it's not fresh in my memory because I watched it last night and I didn't watch it again today like I was planning on to, but when he was talking about getting shot, I think he said something along the lines of it was something like needlessly getting shot in the street or something on the lines of that. It wasn't me being a hero. It almost didn't feel like he got
Yeah,
shot in the street the
yeah,
same way as the original Pietro did. And Wanda just
mm-hmm,
looked at him real quick, like, "What did you just say?"
yeah,
And then he just keeps on talking, though. They just completely blow past it. And there's a
yeah.
couple of different scenes like that with him that I was just like, "Man, this definitely isn't." Just I don't think it's Pietro at all. To be honest with you.
Mm.
But I like episodes where they do little drops and little hints like that that they don't necessarily make it super obvious to the viewer. You kind of just have to pick it up on your own.
Which
And
is
I like that
funny.
with any show or with any movie where they just assume the viewer is smart enough. You know what I mean?
Which is
I don't
funny. I mean,
necessarily
just
like
kind of
always having my handheld, but
while we're on that subject of just kind of their dynamic, that their dynamic and how they're kind of working with what's wrong in the world, what's not wrong in the world. Like, how hilarious was it? Like, how just ridiculous was it when she asks him of where his accent went, and he said,
oh
"Well,
my
where
god,
did your accent go?"
yeah.
I
Where's
literally
your accent
bust.
going? He just very quick. Where did your accent go? And
That
she's just
was
looking at him like, okay, all right, fair enough.
and like
No
that
more on this subject.
that was just I really like how they kind of utilize that. So, but Batman, you can go ahead and give your initial thoughts or your opening thoughts, I guess.
I love the episode. I
Mm-hmm.
really did. Um, from beginning to end. Um, I loved all the hints, nods, Easter eggs, all that stuff. Um, there were quite a few actually. There's actually a reference to another movie, uh, and it's not even an MCU movie, which is really cool. I like how they threw that in there subtly. Um, but I like this episode because it really shows just how far she's gone to make this a reality.
Yes,
And it also shows that she doesn't completely know how this all happened.
yes, and she's
She
not
just knew she
omnipotent.
was in pain, she was upset, and then maybe she lost control somehow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um,
This episode, I mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, you're good, man. I know this might sound a little bit
Nitpicky.
stupid, but nitpicky, but 30 minutes, it cropped in at 30 minutes exactly. And when the way the episode ended, man, I did not think it would end like right there. When the
That's
credits
just,
started
but
rolling, I was
dude,
like,
you
oh
can't, you
man.
listen, man. You can love what you love. Man, your opinions are your opinions. But that is good production quality, dude.
I
That is
know.
good story.
That makes you want to
Yes,
watch the next
yes, dude. You
episode.
can't you listen, man. As a reviewer, as someone who deals with as much content as you do when it comes from films, movies, all the stuff that you pay attention to, the point that you're taking away from this episode should actually be something that you're giving extra credit for. Like that level of storytelling to say, look, I'm giving them just enough, but not quite too much because I gotta have them thirst for more. I gotta have them going to their friends, doing podcasts. I gotta have them talking about it at lunch at school, talking about it at work, watching other videos about it on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitter. Like this is this is premium quality production. Like they think about this stuff very intently. Do we want to end the episode here or here? What's going to and they got it down to a science, man. They know just how to do it to where more people are gonna watch next week than they watch this week. Like
That's true.
if that's why you're pulling that point, dude, you got to give that point back. If you're gonna call yourself a true film and media content reviewer, you got to give that point back. If that's the only reason why you didn't give
Wait,
it a
hang on.
10,
To be fair, that was at the time. I
okay.
have had more time to think over, and
Okay.
yeah, it's a 10. It's definitely a
Okay.
10.
All right. I'm fine with that.
Honestly,
You
honestly, like, I mean, the show is great. It's so good, Marvel content wise, and
Yeah,
we've needed this.
we have. We
I
really have.
mean, we've been craving this.
you know what I'm gonna say, which might sound boy, I can't talk. Which might oh, I really can't talk. That's not good for a
Yeah,
podcast. Which might sound kind of strange. They really got to start bringing it with more information, which is
Hmm.
weird to say because these past couple of episodes they've been dropping a lot of information and details, but I almost
Okay.
feel like they're dropping a lot, but it's just enough to keep us wanting to watch more. And I almost feel like if, especially with these episodes now being an hour long, if this next episode is more of the same of
I
what they've
see where
been
you're
doing, it
going.
might almost kind of get stale. You know what I mean? Which
Hmm.
is weird because
Well, I
compared to
see.
like the first three episodes, they've been
Yeah.
dropping a lot. It's been
Well,
like, holy crap, this has been good.
what I
But
thought
at
you
the
were gonna
same
say,
time, it's
what I thought you were gonna say is if they keep doing it along this pace, then it seems like they may have to try to throw everything into the ninth
into the last
episode
ep.
to make it make
Yeah,
sense. And that could be extremely problematic because look,
yeah, yeah.
I
That's
know this
exactly
is
what I.
gonna. I'm expecting a cliffhanger, right? But
Mm-hmm.
even the cliffhanger has to make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they gotta, what
They're
Obi's
gonna.
saying,
I expect them to end it with a cliffhanger of sorts,
mm-hmm,
but there still has to be, even with a cliffhanger, you still have to have a lot of
a
answers.
sense of closure.
Questions also
Yeah.
answered. Yeah, yeah, sense of closure.
Mm-hmm. It has to be a cliffhanger in such a way where where you're shocked, but you understand where they're gonna go, but you don't necessarily understand how it's gonna unfold on that road. So let's just kind of dive into the episode. I think the first thing that they kind of start off with is that they're planning for the Halloween night,
Mm-hmm.
and Vision, you can tell that Vision is already up to something because
Yeah.
he's not giving a
He's
lot of
faking it.
he's not giving a lot of details about what he's about to go do, why he doesn't want to be with the family, and that's just shocking, right? When you think about him as a father, him as a husband, and everyone's going out and doing their Halloween thing, and it's supposed to be their quote unquote first Halloween together, which is funny because the kids are adult, like not they're not adults, but they're older, right? So this is being their first Halloween when really technically last episode was like what their birthday, and
Yeah,
so
pretty
like
much.
it was funny for it to kind of take on that dynamic. But basically, Vision is saying, "I'm about to go out and I'm about to investigate this world and see what's going on." And I think what this does is it proves my theory from the first couple of episodes is that she may have created this universe, she has control over it, but she's not omnipotent. Like she doesn't know everything that's going on in everyone's mind, and she can't react to those things on the fly and have control. She has to think about it, and
And we
having
also
to
said
think
we
about
see
it is.
that with.
Go ahead.
I was
Yeah.
saying we see that with the outskirts of the town where
Yes.
she doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have control over those people, which is why they're all just
Exactly.
standing still.
Yes. I was gonna get into that too.
The main
Uh,
way we see that, though, oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, Batman. You're fine.
The main way we see that is when Vision leaves and crawls out. She doesn't even know.
She doesn't know it. Yeah.
At
She's
all,
completely oblivious.
which is
There's no
You
odd.
know what? That makes sense though, because she also didn't know that She also didn't know that Monica was came through.
On
Oh
the
It
way
wasn't
yeah.
in.
until Monica started
Yep.
talking about Ultron
Mm-hmm.
that she was just like, "Oh, you're not even a resident here." Like,
Because if it was her world, she would more than
She would
likely
know that.
feel if somebody were to enter or try to leave. She'd be like, "Hey, where you
Yeah.
think you're
And
going?
so I'm not
Get back
sure
here."
what's in between like normal human and omnipotent, but she's somewhere in between that. And
Hmm.
so they go out to basically what's his name? Pietro is being the cooler uncle, right? And he's hanging out with the
Hmm.
kids. And so what we see is the kids. Um, he's basically trying to do all types of like weird, cool uncle stuff. Meanwhile, he's going back and forth with Wanda and talking about like the what his purpose is. And that's when we get another callback to this idea that these people are going off of a script, because he says something like, "Well, I'm just doing my job. My job's supposed to be to come in, make light with the
Hmm.
kids, and cause friction between her and Vision." Um, I'm not sure exactly how he words it, but he basically he does another one of those numbers. And oddly enough, anytime someone references some type of script or whatever, Wanda responds very oddly to that. Um, like you would think that this is the script that they put her on, but the way she responds makes it seem like that may not necessarily be the case, which goes back to
She
what
almost doesn't realize this is scripted.
yeah, which goes back to kind of what I've been saying. It's like she may have created the world, but it seems like somebody else from the outside who may be stronger or maybe taking advantage of her, her moment of weakness or her sporadic psyche and manipulating this world and maybe hurting her in the process. And so another big moment that kind of pops up is that uh, forgive me because I don't remember the kids' names right now. But I think the younger one gets his
Billy and
powers.
Tommy.
Billy, what is it?
Billy and Tommy, right?
Billy. Okay, and I think Billy gets his speed, right?
Uh, yes, I think so. Give me
So
one
Billy
second.
gets his speed. He starts running around. Quicksilver is congratulating him on everything. And then at that point, I think we jump to Vision, who is just walking
Nope.
among what?
Billy is Wiccan. My bad.
Okay, so Tommy is the one that with speed.
I believe so.
Okay, uh,
Yes.
all right, cool. So we jump to the outskirts of the city where Vision is just walking around. He
Hmm.
was walking around with the kids, but now all the kids are just completely standing still.
Hmm.
And it goes back to what Obi was saying earlier in a theory that we all kind of had, is that yeah, she has control, but as as soon as I saw this scene, I was like, her reach doesn't extend that far.
Yeah.
They can't move or do anything. And so Vision comes across Agnes, and she's just sitting in her car. And so he gets this idea, and I'm not even actually sure if they've explained how Vision is doing this, but somehow he can turn off her control over them. And so he the same way he did with the guy in the office. So she touches him, her touches her. She comes back, and she was, and it's weird because it's something different about Vision too. Like she has a little bit of control of him also, because she talks about, oh, your Vision from the Avengers. You must be here to help us. And he's like,
Hmm.
who are the Avengers? So he even doesn't understand a big part of himself, also. You
Yeah, he doesn't
know,
know anything about his past.
yeah, they've actually said that multiple times. He doesn't know anything about his
She's
past
trying to protect
beyond.
him though.
Say again.
It, I feel like it's trying because I talked about this in the episode before. She wants to protect him. She doesn't want him to have those memories, and he's like, "That's not your decision to make for me."
Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
And
yeah.
so I think what happens is she basically starts asking Vision for help. How can you
Mhm.
help? And I think she freaks out in some way, but I don't remember what triggers
She
her into
starts
freaking out.
laughing
But she asks, "Am I
maniacally.
dead?" And Vision's like, "Well, why would you ever think that you were dead?" Like, no. She goes,
Oh,
"Well, because
yes.
you're dead."
Yes, yes. And that's what triggers her to totally freak out. And then Vision touches her again to basically put her back in the trance. And this woman playing Agnes is such a great actor because she goes
Hmm.
right back into like that character of Agnes, and she does that 1950s ha 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 I'm a little housewife laugh and drives off. And that's when Vision decides, all right, forget it. I am getting out of here. And
Um,
so, Batman, I'm going to jump to you if you want to talk a little bit about. Well, y'all give me
yeah.
your thoughts on just all of that, and then maybe talk a little bit about what was going on in the outside world. Because I think I pretty much only talked about what's going on inside the bubble. So, you guys give your thoughts, and then kind of segue into that.
So let me think. I found that interesting, that he was doing the investigating and stuff. It
Mm-hmm.
really it shows he knows not everything is right. And I like the Pietro being the cool uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And I did want to throw an Easter egg in there because I do for every episode.
Okay.
But he says it's kick-ass, and then Wanda goes kick-ass. Now, if you've ever seen Kick-Ass, you will know the guy who's playing uh, Quicksilver right now, Evan Peters, was in the movie, and then the guy who played Pietro in the MCU earlier on was Kick-Ass. So,
Oh
Oh, okay.
yeah,
yeah,
same actor.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that was a little nod. I like that. I thought that
That's
was really
very
cool.
interesting. I didn't know that.
And another thing you might not notice unless you know stuff about the comics is uh, Tommy is dressed like Speed, or he's kind of dressed like Quicksilver a little bit, but he
Mm-hmm.
has like the Speed costume. And
Yeah.
then Billy looks like Wiccan. His costume looks like Wiccan's costume from the comics. So it's a
Hmm.
little foreshadowing. I
Yeah.
really like that.
And I think
But
I
I
think Wanda and Vision had their comic book accurate costumes as well, didn't they?
Hmm.
They did. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
exactly
Yep.
accurate. Even to the point where Vision put face paint over his
His
like
actual
Over
face.
his quote
yeah,
unquote human face. Yeah.
yeah, which
Very,
is
very interesting. Very funny. Very nice
Um,
callbacks. Go ahead, Obi.
hmm
talk about Agnes real quick. Every episode we're just like, okay, she's definitely more than meets the eye. I mean, she definitely has a role she's playing in this, probably antagonistical to, if that's even a word, to Wanda, because she's always there. She's always says the right thing. She always has what's needed right then and there in every episode. And this episode did a very good job of almost making me think, well, maybe I was just wrong about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's on the outskirts of the town with everybody else, and she can't move, same as everybody else. Whatnot. And I was like, man, well, maybe she is just being controlled by Wanda. Then I realized, no, she's the only one on the outskirts of town that can talk when she's talking to Vision before Vision does his little mind thing to quote unquote get her from under Wanda's spell.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she also happens to be conveniently located right at the edge of the hex,
Right at the edge of the hex.
right
Absolutely.
at the edge of
Very
the hex,
conveniently.
right where Vision's investigating, and she's the only one that can move around.
almost as if she was leading him.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So for a
Exactly.
moment there, they had me like, man,
But you
maybe
know what
Agnes
else?
isn't. Then I was like, well, hold on, no, she definitely did that on purpose. But
Here's another thing though. She's also I mean, I think we only had one other example of this, but well, actually, no, we've had two. We had the guy in the office, and then we had Monica that both said they are under intense, horrible pain. She didn't show any signs of being under whatever
Right.
intense pain that I guess the others were going through. Like when she came back to being normal, she was for the most part normal, you know.
Hmm.
And so that's another like that's another clue to like she's different. She's different from the other people that are trapped in this world.
Yeah. They just did a
Um,
really good job for a split second there, having me be like, damn, was I wrong about all this?
mhm.
Wait, nah, no, I wasn't.
I mean,
uh,
like like we said, a lot of people think that she's working for Mephisto, which could
mm,
very much well be the case. I
could
mean,
be.
honestly, she could be the one uh, working with things behind the scenes. But speaking of behind the scenes,
Yeah.
so at this point in time, the director guy, they're deciding what to do,
Hmm.
and man, this dude, he's such a jerk for no
He
reason, really.
look. I won't say for no reason. He's definitely a jerk. He definitely doesn't understand how to use his power. But when you look at it, when you pull back and truly try to look at it from just a totally objective standpoint, it does seem like he has just a no nonsense approach to protecting the people in this town and the people in the neighboring areas. Like he feels like
Yeah,
this is an unstable nuclear bomb and we need to figure out a way to remove it or contain it or whatever by any means necessary.
or
So it's
destroy
like
it.
he is an antagonist, but he's not
He's not doing
evil.
it out of like
Yeah.
nefarious means, like I've been wanting to kill Wanda in the MCU since I've
Hmm.
seen her. Or something like that.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
I think
I gotcha.
I think one thing that's good about I think what was going on in the outside world is pretty straightforward, and I think it makes it a little bit easier
Yeah,
for us to talk about because basically it's just Monica and the other girl pressure
Darcy.
him, Darcy pressure him more about making the right decisions when it comes to Wanda and not acting not acting based on not acting sporadically and not just making just quick decisions. And
Yeah, 'cause
basically,
they mentioned to him what we were talking about in the last episode of you have no idea what's going to happen if you just kill her. Like, you have no
yes,
idea that's
good,
Exactly.
very good point, very
That's
good point for
negative
exactly
bringing
what
that
he
effect
up.
on
told.
the.
Yeah, so you have
And
no
he's like, you know
idea.
what? I'm
Go
getting
ahead.
sick of this.
Yes.
Get them off. Get them out
Yeah,
of
he's
here.
just like, get out.
Yep.
Like, he just doesn't
Um,
want to hear it.
and so they just decide, okay, we're going to investigate on our own. And that's when
Mm.
Darcy points out, look at what's happening to you when you go in there. Your your literal biology is changing. She's literally making changes to you, when you go in there. Don't go in there
Oh,
again.
oh my
Um,
God, yes. Yes, this is good. This
mm-hmm.
is good. This is
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is setting up her comic uh aliasis Photon. This is setting up her getting her powers.
But
I
it's
love
also
it.
setting up if she's going in and she's literally because I think they said something about her literally changing her DNA to an
On a
extent.
molecular
Something.
level. Yeah.
Hmm.
If she's doing that, she can definitely manipulate the X gene and
Hmm.
Possibly.
have more mutants. And so everything is lining up to be what
Everything
we thought
is.
it was going to be.
Like a
Um,
reverse
Um,
House of M type thing,
I
yeah.
yeah,
you guys glossed over one thing. So when they're having an argument, man, he pulls some
What's that
shady.
line
Like,
about her mom?
yeah, he says something about Captain Marvel.
that was
He's
shady.
like,
That was shady as hell. And I'm
That was
surprised that she
shady as
didn't
hell.
respond differently to that.
he says something about Captain Marvel. He's like, blah blah, Captain Marvel, where's she or something like that. And he's like, your mom would be disappointed. I was like, bro, you didn't
Yeah,
have to
Which
say
it
that.
almost seems
It was
like
unnecessary.
he has an MCU Zemo esque
Little bit, yeah.
hatred towards people with superpowers because of him being like, you have no idea what it took for us to keep this world together after the snap, blah 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 blah, this that and the
yeah,
third, and and then his little quip about Captain Marvel and her and Monica's history with her and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it almost seems like maybe he just it's almost like he blames super quote unquote supers for what happened. Like they
Yeah.
Oh,
failed
for sure.
us. Like
Yeah.
screw them. They have these superpowers and they failed us. Like we're
Yeah.
I
doing
mean,
it our way.
they didn't, most of the people died, obviously, spoilers for Endgame. Most of the heroes died, so nobody came out. It's like, hey, we had to lose to win.
Yeah.
People don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
They don't.
So, um, but they keep mentioning. See, I can't talk either.
I can. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. I ain't had no issues. Go-
They keep mentioning this aerospace engineer, and a lot of people are speculating. What if it's Reed Richards? What if it's Reed Richards? What if it's Reed Richards? And
oh
I would
man.
freaking lose it if it was Reed Richards.
Man, and the first time she mentioned him, apparently in the Spanish subtitles, it was the female use of it, and then in this episode she clearly states he will be here soon. So I was like, oh no, it's a guy, it's a male.
Mm.
Damn.
I
So if that's
really
Reed
hope they
Richards,
get
man,
him.
that'd be dope.
I'm gonna. If
So
it's
I
John Krasinski,
think
oh my
the
god.
last kind of big thing that happens, which kind of ties both of the worlds together, is Vision is trying to break out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that they would have an interesting dynamic between the two kids, where one was like jealous of the other for not having powers, while not having powers, but they elected not to go that direction.
They both have powers.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm about to get to. So
Oh, okay.
the but the first one, the speedster, his
Oh, right.
powers
He got his powers
manifest.
first.
Yeah, they
Manifest
manifest first, right? And so I'm thinking, okay, there might be an episode or so where he is, you know, where they have a kind of back and forth of him not having powers, his brother having powers, and him being jealous, whatever. And so, as we expect, when Vision tries to get out of the bubble, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure everyone's thinking this. You're alive because you were in the bubble. If you try to get out of the bubble, you will die.
You're dead.
And as we expected, he was dying. At that point, boom, the other kid's powers manifest. He starts reaching out to Vision psychically. He's also reaching out to everyone outside of the bubble psychically. He can hear their thoughts, he can hear what they're saying,
Yep.
everything. He can sense Vision's life force, and that it's draining, which also means that it's not an illusion. She has literally put an actual sensible life force inside of Vision.
Mm-hmm.
And they see Vision as living Vision. From what we understand, when they saw him, they weren't seeing grayed out, smashed forehead Vision. For what we know, the only person
They
who
saw.
occasionally sees that is Wanda, right? So he's dying, 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 and the
I did.
the
Sorry, go ahead.
son tells the mom something's happening to dad. They think he's dying, and Wanda's. I would think Wanda's decision would be to go out there and confront everyone. That's not her
Mm-hmm.
decision. Her decision is to push the barriers of the bubble out indefinitely. I don't even think we see that. We don't even see that end, I think, in the episode. In the episode, it's continuing to push out further, is it not?
No, it stops.
It does
I'm
stop.
pretty sure.
Okay.
Didn't it?
Basic.
Or maybe it didn't.
I don't remember honestly.
I didn't
I
see
honestly don't
anything
remember.
where I felt like it was a definitive stop. So there's a good chance by the next episode there is just a lot more, even than we expected, to be totally changed when it comes to this show. I liked how, as the world expanded, the world that Wanda has created or however manipulates, we see things change into their counterpart in her world, right? And in that we see Vision basically I guess he comes back to life, or he comes and he ends up doing better. And I think doesn't it end on that last frame? It was like a close up of
Of them
Wanda.
driving.
Oh no
It
no
ends up
yeah
on the of them driving. You're
okay.
right. I
But
did want to mention. I'm sorry. I
no,
don't
go
mean to
ahead.
cut you
You're
off.
good. I was just gonna say
This was really
it
important.
ends on them saying Mayday, Mayday, and trying
Yeah.
to escape the force field.
This was really important. This happens before. Quicksilver's like, "Oh, what? He's gonna die like Pietro? Like
Dead husband can't die.
get
Your dead
shot?"
husband can't die again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, and then she hits him super hard,
Mm-hmm.
like pushes him back, like, "Hey, you shouldn't have said that," kind of thing, you know?
Yep.
I
Went
thought that
too
was
far.
really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
As I
it
was
makes
gonna
you
say,
think it's not Pietro. It's definitely not Pietro
And she
because it
doesn't.
seems like this person's trying to antagonize her a
Yes.
little bit.
Yes. He's
This
trying to get.
this
He's trying to. He or she is trying to get her to go too far.
hmm
yeah, an
They're
emotional
trying to
response,
test her
which is
patience.
what they get because I feel like that was a completely almost psyche breaking emotional response from her to just extend the bubble out instead of just being like, let me just fly over there real quick and drag him back in. It
Mm-hmm.
was I can't lose him again. I can't take the time to do that. I'll just extend the bubble out. I'll just do it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Think
Absolutely.
To
about it
which I
though.
need to go back and I need to watch Age of Ultron again because you get a very quick, like how
Tough.
she gets little quick glimpses of Vision being dead. She gets a quick glimpse of Pietro dead also with bullet holes in him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I want to see because this is Marvel. They do pay attention to detail. I want to see if those bullet holes are in the same spot that original Pietro got shot in Age of Ultron.
No doubt they are.
Um, so OB kind of ties back to what you're saying. Think about it.
But if they're not, then
She,
why not?
Yeah. Definitely.
Because this Pietro apparently did get shot also, not in the same way that the original one did, as per his own
Mm.
words, kind of.
Yes.
But
um,
Go ahead, Batman.
so OB kind of drawing back a little bit what you said. So she led him to the end of the bubble, and what if she led
Agnes
him
being
to the end
she,
of the bubble? So possibly, yes. So he could leave, and then maybe Mephisto is antagonizing her with Pietro, and just all that together could make her
Mm.
break and push the barrier
a little
Yes.
further.
teamwork going on, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
mean, it doesn't seem far-fetched at this point.
and her laugh is starting to
Right.
sound much more like a evil laugh.
Evil,
like
yeah.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
um so to be honest, outside of our normal theories, the X gene, some of the Fantastic Four stuff, um, her being controlled by someone, her not truly being omnipotent. I don't necessarily have any new theories, which kind of excites me because it makes me feel like, okay, we got 3 more hours of this, and I don't know what's gonna happen. Um, and so, like, it just gets me that much more excited that a lot of the things that we are thinking about seem like they are kind of falling in line. But now we have three
I
more hours of content, and there's a lot more for us to be able to kind of explore.
I talked to you about a theory, Grumby. I know I sent this to you on Instagram. I don't know if I should talk about it because, like, would it be a spoiler if it actually does happen or no?
Theories can never be spoilers. Go ahead.
Because
Yeah.
it happens in the comics. So in the comics, I sent this to you. You see, Mephisto takes Wanda's children away when he after he gives them to her, and that's what causes her to break down
Mm,
and just completely lose it.
yeah,
I can see that happening just for like a little foreshadowing part when she was just like, I have
because
everything I
because it
want, and
does have to
nobody's ever
be.
going to
It
take that
has.
away again.
Yeah, it has to be something huge, and it has to be something.
Uh-huh.
It has to be something bigger than losing Vision,
She's
Because
right?
here's
already
the
done
thing,
that.
her
Because if
kids are
losing
real.
Vision and doing this is one thing, She was perfectly fine with creating a small little bubble where she could just live with the guy that she loves in a fake world. But if something happens to her kids, that might be the
Mm-mm.
last straw, the straw that broke the camel's back. So
And
that might.
it's those kids are real. We found that out. They are
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
actually real. They're
Yep.
real.
Yep.
So yeah, she would break, and then Doctor Strange would have to come in and be like, "Whoa,
Whoa. What do
let's
you?
let's take it easy here."
What's going on here? Eh? But any final thoughts? I think we've done really good on time. I think we've covered pretty much everything in the episode. Any final thoughts that y'all wanted to add? Anything we missed that y'all wanted to bring up?
Um, Honestly, for me, no, I think we touched on everything.
Man, I do too. I think we're getting a lot better
I'm
at these.
I will say
Oh
this.
wait, we
I'm
did.
interested to see how it plays out with Darcy being inside the hex now.
Oh, that's right. She does get
Ooh,
dragged into it.
we totally
Because she
yes.
does get
Yep.
as you know, as it expands, she's still handcuffed to the Jeep or whatever vehicle that was, the Tahoe, whatever, it doesn't matter. Um, because that soldier just straight up just left her, and she was like, "Really?" And then she
And
gets
that was a
engulfed by it.
conscious
So,
production choice. Like it's not
oh
a
yeah,
coincidence that she just so happened to be in that
that this
spot
main
at that
character is in the
time,
spy
and
and
now
now
she's
is in the
inside of
hex.
the. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
She seems like
Um,
a very level-headed person to maybe kind of talk to Wanda and be like, "Come on, Wanda, like, you really want all of this happening?"
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I did. We did miss one thing. So when Darcy's looking in the computer and she's breaking into stuff, she
Mm-hmm.
finds out that he could actually see all the life forms, every life form that was in the bubble,
he
everything.
can see the life forms that are by vision because they're tracking Vision's vibranium signature.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what though?
I think
What?
it was
Never mind,
everybody
Batman. I
though.
gotta take that
Everybody.
back. That was I feel like that. Yeah, because I could
Yeah.
have swore they mentioned them being able to see the life signs by vision, but then they clearly on that map showed everybody and like went to like a different part of
Yeah.
the hex. Yeah, okay, so never mind. You're right. You're
So
right.
he's been hiding that.
Hmm.
Wow.
He's been acting like they had no idea. So he's hiding
Mm.
stuff.
Okay.
Maybe he doesn't trust people, but even still.
I could definitely agree that he probably don't trust nobody.
Yeah,
Um.
I
I
mean,
will say this: with Far From Home taking place several months after this show, timeline wise, in the MCU, that little ending scene where they first introduced Sword, it almost seemed like Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury. Maybe not necessarily the director, but he was very high up on the totem pole. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's making some bad decisions, and that's almost what kind of gets him kicked out of the director's seat that maybe Nick Fury put
Okay.
in order to keep Nick Fury's character relevant to the MCU,
yeah.
with Shield pretty much being, completely defunct and just not around anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd be interesting.
One more quick thing I wanted to touch on. Do you guys notice how any time Captain Marvel's brought up, Monica's like, ugh, like
Hmm.
I did
something.
She's just
notice
like she
that.
don't
I don't
like
even. She
that.
didn't even. She doesn't even actively respond.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, for sure. I guess we'll get more information about how that relationship unfolded because yeah, you're definitely right about that. Um
3
And it
episode
would
episodes left.
make very little sense to me for Monica's character not to be in Captain America 2.
yeah,
Captain Marvel too.
Marva.
Yep. Yeah, there we go. Captain Marvel 2. Sorry, I was thinking about a better movie. Um,
No, I mean they obviously
Both of them made that good.
they
I mean,
what? I'm not even
Both
gonna
Winter
of them
say
aren't
Soldier
it.
is a
that
lot
good.
better than Captain America 1. I mean, than Captain Marvel 1,
Oh, I
so.
thought you were I thought you were
Uh,
comparing Captain Marvel 1 to Captain America 1. I think both of those
Oh, I
movies
didn't
aren't
like
good.
Captain. No, yeah,
oh, I thought you were
Captain
saying
America
Captain
1 better.
America 2 wasn't good.
Well, no,
Oh
yes,
no,
I
Captain
accidentally
America
said
2 is
Captain
good.
America
Oh my
2.
god.
Winter Soldier is good. Yeah.
You
It
scared
ain't
me for a
it ain't
second.
bad. But for me, yeah, 10 out of 10 for the episode. Really enjoyed it. They did a great job of implementing everything. That's what a good production team, director, writer, and showrunner do. They take all the elements of what has worked and they keep continue to build on that, and I think they did that very well.
I mean, obviously, I'm very interested to see where this goes, moving forward. I'm very interested to see about this Pietro, though, because all the little hints they've dropped in this last episode really makes it seem like it's not him at all. Like, not
Hmm.
even, maybe not even necessarily an alternate, universe version of him, because just little details that he would like say every now and again that Wanda would kind of look at him like that's not the real details. And then anytime she's trying to test him, he's just like, "You're trying to test me," but that doesn't answer the question. It's because he doesn't
Hmm.
know.
Yeah,
The man doesn't know, and he knows he doesn't know.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's the
Okay.
main thing. He knows he doesn't know. So what are you trying to hide?
Yeah,
I'm very
absolutely.
interested to see where they go with that.
Um, Real quick on what you said at the beginning of the podcast, Falcon the Winter Soldier, they said it's going to be a lot more violent than the other Marvel projects that have come
That's
before.
interesting. I wouldn't expect that. I honestly thought it would be a lot more lighthearted, but just because of the dynamic of those characters and actors. But I guess we'll just have to see in the next coming weeks. Um,
Hmm.
well, all right, guys, we appreciate y'all pulling up and watching yet again another Friday Marvel pod. Well, not Friday Marvel podcast based on the episodes that come out on Fridays. And if you like the video, like it. If you think someone else might like it, share it. And if you want to see more, we really hope that you will subscribe. And we will see y'all next time.